The job of a truck driver has never been more difficult. As traffic and the number of other distractions and job complexities increase, the need for driver assistance systems has never been greater. Adaptive Cruise Control is a radar-based system that works with a standard cruise control. The system monitors the vehicle directly in front of the truck, automatically adjusting the cruise control set speed up or down to maintain a fixed following distance. It will automatically accelerate to the cruise control set speed when the forward vehicle changes lanes or exits. Collision mitigation is a technology that is always actively monitoring for a situation where a collision is imminent. With all the distractions that can occur on the road, the system will provide an audible warning to the driver as the following distance decreases. If the driver does not take action, the collision mitigation system will apply the brakes in an effort to reduce the severity of the impending collision. Lane departure warning utilizes a camera mounted on the windshield to monitor lane dividers as the truck is driven down the road. The system will provide a directional audible warning to the driver if the vehicle is leaving its lane without the use of a turn signal. It is designed to assist drivers when they become distracted or drowsy and help them keep in their lane of travel. Side object detection is a system that utilizes a radar mounted on the side of the truck to monitor an operator's blind spot. A display conveniently mounted to the A pillar right next to the rear view mirror provides visual indication if a vehicle is present. The system will also provide an audible warning if the blinker is turned on and an object is detected by the system. Side object detection will enable drivers to know if there's a vehicle in their blind spot, so they can confidently change lanes. Predictive Cruise Control is a technology that utilizes topographical GPS information to anticipate changes in grade. The system will automatically modify the standard cruise control response by reducing fuel to the engine as the truck climbs and crests a hill, knowing it can use the vehicle's momentum to maintain an increased speed on the downslope. Predictive Neutral Coast is another driver assistance system that can help improve fuel economy on a vehicle equipped with an automated manual transmission. When in cruise control and descending a slight grade, the transmission will automatically shift into neutral. That will drop the engine RPM to idle level and will allow the vehicle to glide down the hill. The transmission will automatically shift back into gear when the operator takes control or when the vehicle's speed starts to decline. Both Predictive Cruise Control and Predictive Neutral Coast are designed to maximize fuel economy. Driver Performance Assistant monitors and scores driving techniques in real time. The system coaches improvements by showing drivers how to best optimize the truck's performance by coasting longer, utilizing the engine brake, anticipating the road ahead, and braking with less force. It encourages behavior that supports better fuel economy and longer brake life. Kenworth has a wide range of driver assistance technologies that are designed to assist drivers in driving safely and maximizing fuel economy. Look for these technologies when speccing and driving your Kenworth truck. Kenworth, the world's best.
We've admired the outside of the truck. Let's get inside and check things out. The T680 already had best-in-class ingress, but we've made it even better with a greater offset to our steps. It's like climbing a few stairs up to your office. There's a lot to like once you open the door of the T680 Next Gen. We've updated the interior with new colors, including the new Madrona color. When you go to climb in, you can use this auto down feature on the seat to lower it. This makes it easier to slide on into the truck. Also, the driver's door will bounce back to make it easier for you to close the door once you're in. The 2.1 meter cab was designed to meet the needs of drivers of all heights. Take a minute to adjust your seat and steering wheel to make sure it's dialed in for you. Your mirror adjustment controls are here on the door. Now, you can't miss the new 15-inch digital display. This is a huge feature for Kenworth, so we'll cover how this works in a separate video, along with the functions of the new Smart Wheel. All T680s will come with the column-mounted shifter. This is how you put the truck into drive, neutral, or reverse. For trucks with an automatic transmission, you can put the truck into manual mode by pressing the button at the end of the shifter. While in manual mode, you may receive a notification to shift up or down for optimum performance. Low mode can be used anytime you want to use the lowest gear and minimize the use of the brake pedal, such as when driving on long grades or when coming to a stop. Low mode is activated by holding the shifter in the downshift position for an extended duration. Pull the shifter towards you to exit low mode. The engine brake is also controlled from the column-mounted shifter. The engine brake can help slow the truck on steep descents. There are 5 settings for the engine brake: off, low, medium, high, and max. You can see which setting you have by looking at the 15-inch digital display. You can change the engine brake level by pulling the shifter up or down. Moving along the dash, we have intuitively grouped the switches, placing those you are more likely to need closer to you. We have 3 types of switches: standard, caged, and shielded. On the left-hand side of the dash, you have some additional switches. This truck has a floodlight switch. It also has a dash dimmer, cab dome light, and the exterior light self-test switch. On the right-hand side, you will have different switches depending on what is available on your truck. Lighting switches are located higher on the dash, including the hazards, headlight parking, marker lights for truck and trailer, and fog lights. The trailer brake is located to the right hand of the steering wheel. To use it, simply squeeze or pull down. All Kenworth trucks are standard with automatic temperature controls. The auto button will maintain the temperature at the set point. Manual mode allows you to set the airflow and air temperature. Pressing the fan button will turn on air recirculation. The mode dial will dictate where the airflow comes from. If you have a sleeper, press the button to activate sleeper HVAC as well. The max defrost will defrost the windshield. When pressed again, it will revert to your previous settings. You'll notice when you get in your Kenworth that without even going into the sleeper, there's a lot of storage space in here. Map pocket, cup holders, a full-sized glove box, and the upper storages. And to help with sun glare, you've got 3 separate sun blockers. There's also several power options within the cab. We have a USB port available here and the 12 volts around the cup holder. Now, I want to pop over to the passenger seat for a second. And notice, there's no doghouse and it's very easy to transition around the cab or into the sleeper. One of the great features that make the T680 the driver's truck is the option to have a swiveling passenger seat. This allows you to turn your passenger seat into a desk chair for paperwork or a dining chair. And now you're in the sleeper. We'll cover that in our next video.
Introducing the Hadley Smart Valve. Until now, electronic height control systems have required several separate components: the valve manifold itself, an external sensor, and the associated electronics. Hadley Smart Valve takes all these components and combines them into one simplified, cost-effective, and compact solution for you, with multiple lever links and orientations, along with several valve mounting options. Technology proven for more than 10 years in rugged specialty vehicle applications. But how does it actually perform? This is a speed test of a mechanical height control valve versus a smart valve. In this test, Smart Valve dumps and fills the air springs a great deal faster than a mechanical valve, getting drivers back on the road quickly. Most notably, it raises the suspension in a mere 4 seconds, as compared to 13 seconds on the mechanical valve. In total, the Smart Valve runs through a full dump fill cycle in 17 seconds versus 29 for the mechanical valve. Not only is the Smart Valve faster at lowering and raising, as shown in Smart Valve's full range of travel, but it can also conveniently raise the tractor frame over ride height, which would be a very costly and non-user-friendly option with mechanical valves. Smart Valve will help your fleet attract drivers. And in high-frequency drop and hook operations, Smart Valve will save $1,350 or more annually in reduced driver hours. How can Smart Valve do all that? We're glad you asked. With a mechanical valve, if your trailer is too high when coupling, you're forced to adjust the landing gear with the weight of the trailer fully resting on the landing gear and suspension. The result is more strenuous cranking and back strain, more time needed to adjust, and multiple trips out of the cab. In this same situation, but with a smart valve, the driver can couple the trailer and tractor by simply raising over ride height, thus lifting the trailer and load. This allows for easy final adjustment of the landing gear. What if the trailer's too low? With a mechanical valve, the trailer may hit your tires while backing up. To raise the trailer by cranking the landing gear, the driver has to struggle against the weight of the trailer, especially if it's fully loaded. Again, the result is greater exertion and strain, and valuable time lost. Not driver-friendly to say the least. But with smart valve, the driver simply raises the tractor frame over ride height, thus lifting the trailer and reducing the effort needed to crank the gear. Smart valve virtually eliminates injuries from raising and lowering landing gear, one of the top causes of truck driver injuries. Significant non-fatal injuries from this operation cost employers on average $11,880 per incident. Smart valve gives you a competitive edge as a recruiting tool. 100% of drivers surveyed prefer smart valve to mechanical valves. With smart valve, you'll also save time and money in a variety of other common drop-and-hook situations. For instance, watch what happens when a tractor equipped with mechanical valves connects to a trailer that is off-centered. Notice how the kingpin and trailer have to shift to align with the fifth wheel? That shift causes the landing gear to move, with the weight of the trailer bearing down on it. Even here with an empty trailer, you can see the landing gear being stressed. That trailer was empty. This is a simulation of what can happen when the landing gear is shifted with a fully loaded trailer. But with smart valve, bent landing gear from coupling, which costs $870 to repair, is a thing of the past. A smart valve on the drive axle suspension can raise the trailer prior to connecting. This lifts the landing gear off the ground, preventing it from being damaged as the trailer shifts to connect. Smart valve virtually eliminates related landing gear warranty and replacement costs. Yet another benefit of being able to raise your trailer using smart valve on the tractor: consider a situation where trailers are packed together too tightly to access the landing gear. Save time, energy, and yard jockey operation by simply raising the tractor frame over ride height. This lifts the trailer and landing gear enough to pull the trailer out and access the gear. Get your drivers quickly back on the road where they're generating profit. Hours of service rules put a premium on drivers' time. Don't waste time with mechanical height control valves. Smart valve is the answer, saving more than a week's worth of drivers' time every year. And the bottom line benefits of smart valve don't stop here. No one can afford to waste fuel in today's economy. Smart valve can help you improve fuel economy by reducing compressor runtime and providing OEMs with an aerodynamic tool to automatically lower vehicle ride height at highway speed. Hadley proving ground tests of this technology on a tractor at low ride height show a 0.7% improvement, which will vary depending on the vehicle. With new tractor designs, that could mean savings of $700 or more annually for every tractor in your fleet. In summary, the Hadley Smart Valve, an integrated total solution for reduced cost and weight, designed for all Class 8 makes and applications, and fits exactly in place of mechanical valves. Faster operation speeds, driver comfort, convenience, and safety. Fuel economy benefits for the environment and your bottom line. In short, the multi-talented Smart Valve pays for itself in just 6 months and adds compelling value for drivers and fleets. Hadley, your vehicle, your company, your success.
Good morning, Tyson drivers. I'd like to introduce you to the 2022 Kenworth new generation Tyson style. One of the first things you're going to notice on all the 2022s that we've equipped them with a bumper guard, cattle guard, or brush guard. But there is a trick to opening the hood. First, we need to release the ledge and pull it down. Then, hood latches are on the side of the hoods on all Kenworth trucks. Unlatch, walk to the other side, unlatch this one. Normally, you would open the hood from the front, but with the cattle guard all the way down, your reach is going to be overextended. I do not want you to stand on the cattle guard or brush guard. To open the hood, we're going to grab it from the side, lift up on the fender. Once you get it to one point, and if it gets out of your way, go ahead and let go. Now that we have the engine opened up, we want to look. You'll notice that the radiator reservoir has been removed from the front and moved to the back. You'll notice it's on a blue hose with a yellow cap. Also, an improvement is the power steering reservoir. All trucks are equipped with disc brakes, and if you step back, we still have our aluminum rims and our lug-nut flag indicators. It has great step design, and you'll have the battery access on the brand new equipment. You'll see your depth tank cap, your fuel cap in the side box. You're going to notice that the flarings down the side are extremely low to the ground, but you will have adequate clearance. As you step to the back, you'll notice the load lights that are mounted to the side. There is a toolbox, so that way you can put your after treatment oils, waters, all that in there. All our trucks are equipped with an airflow design. There are hubcap covers and bat wings on the back. It's all about aerodynamics. You know, I kind of like the image improvement of it did. But to pull it off, push in the center, and you're going to notice that there's a halo system on it. Instead of having the indicators on the dashboard telling that you have a flat tire or a low tire, the drive axles are now equipped with an onboard centrifugal air compressor, which monitors the even pressure on both sets. To put the hubcap back on, line up the notches, push, and twist. And it's a good recommendation if you don't have visual on your truck for a while to go ahead and check every now and then inside your hubcaps to make sure that there is no debris on the inside to damage the halo system. On the back of the tractor, we have the tail lights that are LED, and we are still running the Hadley valve smart valve system in order to raise our suspension up to pick up a trailer that has been dropped too high or too close to the other one. As we come up the passenger side, we still have our diesel-powered APU mounted on the outside. Still have access to check the oil in your APU by taking the cover off. And on the passenger side box, each truck is going to have the tow kit with your tow hooks and your manuals. Driver's side or passenger side of the vehicle, you'll look into the engine compartment, and we have our washer fluid reservoir mounted on this side. And every Kenworth still has the safety latch in order to close the hood. Now, in order to close the hood, we release our safety latch, get a good stance, and give it a good push. Again, if the hood gets away from you, let it go. Now we can go around to each side and secure the hood latches. Once you get in front, all you got to do is push up on the cattle guard and lock it into place. Back to the driver's side, secure the hood latch on this side. there you go. That's the outside overview of the Kenworth 2020-22 LED headlights in the front and the daytime running light. Welcome, Tyson drivers, to the interior of the 2022 Kenworth new generation Tyson style. Biggest difference, you're going to notice that the dashboard is all digital. Yep, there's no gauges. Everything is now electronic. We'll start right there. This is your basic dash, and it is all controlled by their smart steering wheel. And on your smart steering wheel, you notice that it says press tumbler to access. So if you tumble, just turn the wheel towards yourself. Notice in the icon over here in the corner, it brought it down one. So we got one more gauge, bring it down. We're gonna open our gauge panel up a little more. But if we want maximum gauges, scroll it down one more, and now we have a full dash control. You can also scroll all the way down into the settings to set up your favorites, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But everything on your dash is controlled over here on your tumbler. Now, I want to check truck controls, so I would push, bring up my menu. So I have truck notifications over here. It's highlighted in blue right now, but if I want to see my notifications, I'm going to push the tumbler again. I highlighted in white, and it's going to bring me back to where I can scroll through the system. Everything that's green, we're good to go. If it's out of sync, needs service or something, it'll have a red X. To get back out of it, I'm going to hit the go back button. Then I'm going to do a trip summary. I can go from marker number A, from where I started, to my first delivery, up to my 8th delivery. So I would just highlight it white, and then here it brings all your trip information. Get back out of it. Now, if you want to declare it, over here on your left steering wheel, there's a little arrow icon. Just give it a nice long push, and it cleared the whole system out.
Have exceeded your personal conveyance duration limit.
Back to highlight on the blue. And then we have your settings. You can set up your time, set up your favorites, and this would be the last icon on your main screen. And then shortcuts. Truck information gives you all the information that this truck is equipped with. Touch on it, and you can scroll down and see everything that the truck has. And always go back to get out of exit everything. And it brings us back up to our home screen. Now, on your left-hand side of your steering wheel, this is all your cruise control. It's simple. Push set, hit resume, on and off. And then we can toggle up the speed right here. Same as what is on the right-hand side. Just toggle it up or toggle it back down. City horn in the middle. Transmission controls over here on the right. To engage your transmission, your foot must first be on the brake, then you can just simply engage. Keep in mind, driver, when you engage this transmission in the gear, it is ready to go. Also over here with your transmission control is your Jake brake. So right now it is off. Pull it down 1, indicated by the green highlight on the dash, 2, 3, and then all the way down and hold for maximum braking. On your left-hand side of the steering wheel is your washer control and your turn signals, also your high and low beam headlights. That pretty much concludes the smart to adjust your steering wheel. There is a lever down here on the left-hand side. Just pull it down, and we pull our steering wheel down. We can telescope it, make it comfortable for you. All right,
Moving on to switches and all the other doodads that are on the screen here and on your dashboard. So over here on your left, we have our factory installed load lights, and then we have the optional load lights that are on the outside flarings of the trucks. We have a light check. This is our ambient light for our overhead or your foot. And then we have a pre-trip light check. You can simply toggle it up one time and it'll check all your lights and all the other systems that are on this truck. Notice how it's going through. Give us a green. In no means is this a shortcut for you doing your proper pre-trip. It's just a helpful tool. Get out of it, just flip it back up one more time. Back over onto the right side of the steering wheel and switches and gauges. Traction control for those slippery conditions. This is our lane departure warning. So the radar in the front is capturing the painted lines down the middle and on your shoulder, right? So if we drift off without first turning on the turn signal, it will give us an audible warning. But we all know what happens in construction zones. Lines are going everywhere. So the driver can simply flip it up one time and turn it off. Hill assist. This is a safety feature that is built into the truck because the truck has disc brakes. So while you're at the signal light, when you release the brake pedal to move over to your accelerator, it will momentarily lock your brakes down to keep from having an accidental rollback. While we're backing the trailer into the dock door, go ahead and turn it off one time. That way, every time that you step on the brake, you're not going to lock your brakes down for at least 3 seconds. And notice the icon on the dashboard. And it's back on. Suspension Hadley valve override system. So we have a suspension status with a green LED icon light. So if I'm going to go hook onto the trailer and I notice that the trailer is over height, instead of fighting with the dolly crank handle, I can simply push the button up, indicated by the green LED light, and now I'm overinflating my airbags, thus raising my fifth wheel so I can couple up to the fifth wheel in the kingpin plate. Also, if a trailer is parked too close to the other one, I can use this tool to hook onto the trailer, lift it up, slowly pull it away from the other trailer, and then get to my landing gear crank handle. Now to disable it, just hit the button up one more time, and it will go back down to ride height. Our airbag lowering system. So when we get done, we're dropping our trailer, we're ready to disconnect, we've released our kingpin, we go ahead and hit the button one time, and we're going to deflate all of our airbags, thus not having wheel hop when we pull out from underneath the fully loaded trailer. To put it back down into ride height, just push the button up one more time. Four-wheel drive for deep snow, deep mud, in case you think that you're going to get stuck because you're at a place where you don't belong. This will lock both axles back there, thus giving the truck four-wheel drive. Here's where our fifth wheel release is at. It is underneath a red safety latch. So we would simply release the latch. If we were disconnecting from a trailer, we would hold the button up. We would listen for the audible. If we hear the audible, then we would go ahead and release it, get out of the truck, go back to where your trailer is attached to your truck and make sure that the fifth wheel is actually released. Then pull out slowly up from underneath it. Our fifth wheel slide is the same. It's underneath a red safety latch. This is our Orbcom unit. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull it up out of the way for a minute. These are our air conditioner and our heater control systems. Now inside this truck, there's an actual thermostat. So I can actually take my temperature gauge, set it at, say 70, and hit the auto button, and it's highlighted in blue. This will cool a cab down to the set temperature, and then the fan will go back to a neutral state. Once it reaches a peak above, it will kick it back on. This is our recycle button. Just push it off, or we can have manual fan control. Maximum defrost on them cold wintry nights. Defrost my window, away we go. Up here on the top, I got my four-way flashers, parking lights with a toggle switch that just goes up. I have my headlights, and then I have my fog lights. It is Tyson policy that we run headlights 24/7, so It's a good notion to know where they're at. And then over here on the very last one, this is our dome light for our sleeper. That pretty much concludes the dash controls for the 2022 Kenworth Tyson style. To turn our air conditioner on for your sleeper compartment, we would push the blue AC button. Air conditioner is on. It's on low right now, but I want to turn it on high. So blue icon here is as cold as it's going to go. My fan speed is low. Hit your fan speed. Fan speed is on high. The driver can also go through the menu and set it up on a timer. You can set it up for temperature control, and right now it's set up on battery monitor indicated by the lightning bolt over in the corner. It is also password protected. I highly recommend do not go in there and try to put a password in there without first writing it down someplace, because once you put it in there, nobody else has it. To turn our APU off, we would either start the truck engine or just reach up here and turn it back off. Now your APU on the trucks, they do not run the heater system. We run a separate heater, which is called your S-bar heater, which is located over here on your back wall. In order to turn our S-bar heater on, hit the button in the middle. It says heater is stopped. Hit it again, it says heater enabled. I have a little bit of a temperature control. I can go cooler and I can go a little warmer. Once this is activated, it is on a 10-hour timer and it is exhaust from one exhaust down by your feet. Turn it back off. It says heater stop by a simple push of the button. Now our refrigerator controls, switch right here, flip it up, green highlighted, our refrigerator is now on. You have a alarm clock in the back, and then you have fan controls for the heat from the truck or the air conditioner from the truck. And then again, I have a light switch, I have a door lock, 12-volt connection, and then some courtesy lights.
Okay, so this is the new red strap that's going to be on the back of all the trailers. This is the way you should find it when you walk up to it. This is what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that we have one. We're going to take whatever means of taking our seal off that we have. We're going to remove our seal. We're going to flip our latch. We're going to take the hook out of the red strap and hook it into the hole that now is there because we flipped the latch up. We're going to loosen our latch. We're going to make sure that the red strap catches the latch. We're going to stand behind the driver's side door. We're going to let the door open. That's going to catch anything that's shifted while we're moving. If there's nothing that's shifted, we're going to make sure that there's nothing on the other side. We can now remove our hook, hook it back on itself, pin back the doors like we should. That's how it should go down the road, and that's how we're going to use the red strip.
In this video, we will show you how to log into your Orbcom device. What you'll need to do is type your user ID on the line that says Enter User ID, and then your password on the Enter Password line. Tap Login. This will log you into the driver interface. To get to your hours of service, tap the area in the top right corner where it shows a clock and the time you have until your next break. Now you're logged in and ready to set your duty status. To change your duty status, tap the Duty Status box in the top right corner. The system will give you the option to set an off-duty status, sleeper berth, or on-duty status. Let's tap On Duty and then Next. From here you can select from various on-duty indicators. I'll cover what all the different indicators mean in a different lesson, but for now, let's just tap on the first on-duty indicator. Now your duty status is set to on duty, and you can go about your workday. To access your hours of service logs, tap the 3 lines menu in the top left of the driver dashboard. You have 2 options here. You can look at your hours of service as a graph or as a table. To look at your hours of service graph, tap Duty Logs Graphs. Now you can see your duty graph. You can zoom in and out by doing a 2-finger pinch on the screen. To navigate between days, tap the left and right arrows above the graph. You'll also see the day and date next to the arrows. To exit the graph, tap the back arrow at the bottom of the screen. To view your hours of service in a table format, tap the 3 lines menu. Tap Duty Logs Table. Now you see a list of duty status changes that have been made. Scroll up and down to move between dates. We'll cover how to edit logs in a separate video. Occasionally, you'll need to make changes or add events to your logs. Tap the 3 lines menu. Then, tap Duty Logs Table. Tap the Add button in the top right corner. It looks like a circle with a plus sign in the middle. Use the date scroller to set the appropriate date, then press OK. Do the same thing to set the time of the event. Now you're taken to the Details screen. Make sure all the blue fields are correct. Any fields with red text require you to fill them in. In this case, you need to add a location for the event and a remark or comment. In this case, I forgot to log in, so I'll change my duty status from off duty to on duty. Tap the location field and type the location where the event happened, then tap OK. Tap the Remark field and type a reason why you're making the edit, then tap OK. In this case, let's say we forgot to log in. When everything looks like you want it, tap Accept. Now, before you finish, you have one more really important step. You have to save the edit you made. See the green floppy disk icon up in the corner? That's the Save button. Make sure you tap it so your changes get saved to your logs. Let's say you get into your cab and your timers are saying you're out of time. This can't be right since you just got in for the day. You look at your log graph, and it looks like you forgot to set an off-duty status yesterday at 7 o'clock p.m. when you finished working. So your log shows you've been on duty all night. To edit the entry, tap on the 3 lines menu, then tap Duty Logs Table. Locate the entry you want to edit. In this case, we have an on-duty punch but no off-duty entry. To add the off-duty entry, tap the Add button in the top right corner. Use the date scroller to set the appropriate date, then press OK. Do the same thing to set the time of the event. Change your duty status from on duty to off duty by tapping the duty line, then tapping off. The remark field is highlighted red, which means we need to add a remark. We'll tap it and type that we forgot to log off. When everything looks the way you want it to, tap Accept. Remember, you need to tap the green Save button in the top right corner to save the changes. If you forget and try to navigate away from the screen, don't worry. The system will ask you if you want to continue without saving. Tap Cancel, and then tap the green Save button. For this example, let's say you finish driving at 5 a.m., perform a 15-minute post-trip inspection, then go into the sleeper berth for 10 hours to get your reset. When you come out of the sleeper at 3:15 p.m., it still shows you on duty, and you realize you forgot to log your post-trip inspection and your sleeper berth time. To update this, you'll do 2 steps. You'll insert the post-trip inspection and then insert the sleeper berth time. To insert the post-trip inspection, tap the 3 lines menu and select Duty Logs Table. Tap the on-duty entry at 5 a.m. Change your duty status to Post for post-trip inspection, and then leave a remark. And tap Accept. Then to add the sleeper berth time, tap the Add button in the top right corner. Ensure the date is correct. Select 5:15 as the time you entered the sleeper berth. Change the duty status to SB for sleeper berth. Tap the remark field and leave a remark. Then tap Accept. Now your time for the day is correct. Drive time until 5 a.m., a post-trip inspection at 5 a.m., and then sleeper berth time started at 5:15 a.m. Let's go one step further and put ourselves on duty for the day. You know the drill. Tap the Add button, select the date and time, change the duty status to On Duty and leave a comment. Then, as always, make sure you tap the green Save button in the top right corner to save the log entries. Sometimes you may want to log a co-driver into the system. At the top of the screen, we already have one driver logged in, named Aaron Rollins. Let's log in a co-driver. To do this, tap the Login button next to the already logged in driver's name. Type the co-driver's user ID and password, then tap Login. The co-driver, Carl Wallace, is now logged in. The co-driver can then set their duty status by tapping the Duty Status menu at the top right of the screen. You can view either person's duty status and hours of service by tapping on their name at the top. Notice how the person's name gets highlighted blue when you're looking at their information. You'll also notice that Aaron Rollins has a steering wheel icon next to his name. That indicates that he is the driver. So, if the vehicle starts moving, the drive time will be assigned to Aaron. However, to have Carl start driving, simply tap on the three dots menu at the top right corner and tap Switch Drivers. Now, Carl Wallace has a steering wheel icon next to his name, and he's the driver. You cannot switch drivers while the vehicle is moving, so make sure you do this process before starting to drive, or, if you've already started driving with the wrong driver designated, pull over safely and switch the driver designation. Let's say that Aaron wants to log out of the system. To log a driver out of the system, make sure you have the correct driver name highlighted in blue. Tap the three dots menu in the top right corner and tap Log Out. If you're in an on-duty status, the system will ask if you want to remain on duty or if you want to go off duty. Select the option that applies. You can see that Aaron's name is no longer listed at the top and the Login button is available. The co-driver has been logged out. In this video, we will review the key components on the main driver dashboard. This area shows which users are logged in. Tapping the Login button allows you to log in a co-driver. This area shows that this unit is running as an ELD, the rule set being used, and your timers. The top timer counts down and shows how much time you have until your next break. The three timers on the bottom are unique. Instead of counting down to 0, they count up and show how much time you have been driving, on shift, and on your overall cycle. This area shows your duty status. Tap it to change your duty status between off-duty, sleeper berth, and on-duty statuses. To return to the main dashboard, tap the back button at the bottom of the screen, or tap the back arrow at the top left corner. Below the duty status area is the automatic onboard advisor. It's like having a coach in the cab with you. If you tap the advisor, it will provide you with information about upcoming breaks, drive time, resets, and how to ensure you are in compliance with hours of service regulations. Coaching on other topics like personal conveyance and yard moves may appear if they're configured on your carrier's profile. Now, let's look at some of the functions you'll use at the top of the screen. This is a slide-out menu. It's sometimes referred to as the 3 lines menu because there are 3 lines. If you tap on it, a menu slides out. This menu gives you the ability to return to the main dashboard, view your duty logs as a graph, view your duty logs as a table or list, view any edit suggestions your carrier has sent to you, your daily summary, which is where you can certify your logs, view unidentified driving records, enter load details, perform roadside inspections, look at your profile details, review all events in your logs, and view the ELD user manual. We'll cover these functions in a separate video. Let's close the slide-out menu. Along the top of the screen, you will see the diagnostics indicator, which is the letter I in a circle. If a diagnostic event has occurred, the icon will turn orange, as you can see on the screen. The malfunction indicator is the exclamation point in a triangle next to the diagnostics indicator. Though it's rare, if a malfunction occurs, the malfunction indicator will turn red, as you see on the screen. If this happens, report the issue to your carrier so they can help resolve the issue. The notification indicator is the bell-shaped icon next to the malfunction indicator. When your dispatcher or carrier sends you edit suggestions or other messages, you'll see it indicated here. Finally, tapping on the 3 dots in the right corner allows you to refresh the system, log in a co-driver, or log out. The advisor tile on the home screen gives live advice on how to best optimize your available hours. It calculates the maximum driving time and indicates how long your break needs to be to satisfy hours of service. If you're currently on a break, it counts down all relevant break time counters, letting you know when you've met your break requirement. When you tap on Advisor, it will show you the details screen that shows you the information about breaks, remaining drive time, daily and cycle resets, sleeper berth, and pickup hours. Refer to the advisor often for up-to-date information on how to stay compliant with hours of service. As a note, if the vehicle's moving, the advisor details screen is not accessible. Under the ELD mandate, drivers have full responsibility for their logs, and motor carriers cannot make changes directly to drivers' logs. Rather, carriers can suggest edits, and drivers can either accept or reject the edit suggestions. When you receive an edit suggestion from your carrier, the bell icon in the top right of the driver dashboard will indicate you have a notification. Tap on the bell to see the notifications. From here, you can tap on Pending Log Edits and be taken to the Motor Carrier Edits screen. You can also get to the Motor Carrier Edits screen by tapping the 3 lines menu and tapping Motor Carrier Edits. Once you're on this screen, tap the Edit suggestion to see more detail. The Edit suggestion will show the original entry, the suggested edit, and give you the option to accept or reject the edit suggestion. If you tap Accept, it will be changed automatically in your logs. If you tap Reject, the edit suggestion is rejected and your log remains unchanged. Certifying your logs is easy, and there are a couple different ways to access and certify your logs. First, when you log into the tablet, the system will notify you that you have logs that need to be certified. Simply tap on the Log Certification Required link, and you will be taken to the Daily Summary screen, where you can certify your logs. On this screen, you'll see a list of logs for each day. Certified days have a green check mark, and uncertified days have a red exclamation icon. All you have to do is tap the red icon for the date you want to certify, and tap Agree. The red icon changes to green, and the day is marked as certified. If you'd like to review a day's log before certifying it, tap Not Ready. If you tap on the blue day link, you get a quick view of the load details for that day. If you want more details, tap the 3 lines menu, then select either Duty Logs Graph or Duty Logs Table to review the logs further. Another way to access the Daily Summary screen to certify your logs is to tap the 3 lines menu, then tap Daily Summary. This takes you to the same daily summary screen where you can certify your logs. Last, if you're logging out of the system and have uncertified logs, the system will prompt you to review and certify logs. In this case, I'll tap the three dots menu and tap Log Out. A window pops up asking me to review and certify my logs. I can either continue logging out or tap Review Logs, which will take me to the daily summary screen. All of these different options exist for your convenience, so feel free to pick the one that works for you.
Hey drivers, my name is Daniel Tanner. I'm one of the log coordinators here at Tyson. I want to show you a few things about the Orbcom unit that'll help you out there maneuver around a little bit easier so you know where to go, what to do, how to get your job done out there. This unit is a lot more user-friendly than the PeopleNet unit was. It's pretty simple to work. A couple things I want to show you about the unit here. It's a Samsung tablet put in a hard case. Up on the top you have a couple of buttons. You have an on-off button, and then you have a volume button where you can adjust things right there. Once you're on this screen, you notice the little, sometimes they call it a hamburger, it's three little lines. If you touch that, you can get into several things here. Main thing you might want to get into is diagnostics. For some reason your unit's not connecting properly, you'll have all red symbols over here. Once you hit Restart BT5 Comms, it'll count down for about a minute and it'll try to reconnect everything. It usually turns green. Mine is red right now because I have the box unplugged. I'm going to hit the little back arrow right here. It takes me back to this screen. There's also a hard button down below that. Let's say you get into several screens, you can't get back to where you want. You can start over from the beginning by hitting the hard button. Always hit that blue tree right there and it'll take you back in. But while we're on this screen, I want to show you a few other things. Like if you need to know where the information is, how to work the unit for the officer, those are located down below in those PDFs. We're going to go back in the unit by hitting the blue tree. Also below this little hamburger symbol, there's a settings and a power on and off button. And you can also do a restart there. You can barely see them, but if you select the settings button, you can turn your display brightness up. And if you're familiar with PeopleNet, you had to request logs to receive some information. You may have to do that on occasion on Orbcom. You'd select where it says Refresh DB, hit the arrows on the right, and then select OK. And it'll force a call to go through. Down below the power button, you that wants to log out. I think you have to do that from the top. Okay, back to this screen here. You notice you have four tiles here. First one is GPS. It's not currently turned on. If it does come on your truck, it acts more like a car GPS, so don't pay any attention to that. Top right is how you get into your hours. Bottom left is where your loads will come in. You'll select your loads. The loads will show. As you arrive a customer, the geofence will kick in and show that you have arrived. I'm going to hit the back button. Messages. Messages are like text message on any phone out there. You type your message at the bottom, hit the little arrow to send it off. To get to your canned messages, hit the piece of paper on the right. And it'll show all your canned messages right here. I'm going to hit the back arrow to get out of there. Hit it one more time. And I'm back to this screen. Now I want to get into the hours. On this hours screen, it'll show that you have 8 hours to drive. If you notice at the bottom, it's all zeros. This is opposite from PeopleNet. PeopleNet would count down, this counts up. So you can look at how many hours you think you have over here. Look at the advisor on the right. You may think you have a couple before 11 there. Check the advisor. When you check the advisor, it'll give you information like how many hours you have left, PC limit. If you're doing a split, it'll tell you what time you're getting time back. Your duty status will be in the upper right hand corner. I'm on a different setting right now, so it's not showing anything, but I think I can change it. Okay, you notice the duty status is here, and at the bottom has OK and next. If you hit OK, it'll go directly to off duty. If you hit next, it'll give you the options under that particular status, like off duty, just regular off duty or PC. If I go to on duty, it'll show yard move. I want to hit the back arrow and get out of that. Top right, you have this bell up here. The bell is colored in instead of just an outline or something that needs to be addressed. You'll select the bell. Mine says log certification required. You can only certify the last 8 days of logs. And what you'll do is you'll touch one, hit agree, and now it's certified. You just keep going up the list. At this time, there's no driver portal website to go to like there is in PeopleNet. They're supposedly working on that, and we'll have something later on this year. 3 buttons on the top right. That's where you go to log out or add a co-driver. If you're going to be doing split braking, or you need to look at your log graph or the table of events, hit this clock over on the left hand side. Duty logs table, duty logs graph. I want to go to duty logs table. If you're going to do a split brake, you have to tell the computer what you're going to do there. And I don't have an example to pull up right now. Anyway, it'll say, you'll see your duty status where it says off duty. Over on the far right, there'll be 3 dots. And you'll touch the 3 dots and a pop-up window will come up. And there'll be an entry on there that says assigned to sleeper berth. So if you've been off duty for 3 hours, you're not changing it to sleeper berth. You're just saying that you're going to use that for split sleeper berth. And once you select the assigned to sleeper berth, your duty status over here where it said off will highlight in yellow, have an asterisk next to it. And there's a floppy disk up here in the right hand corner that'll be green. That's to save it. You'll hit that to save it. If you change your mind for whatever reason, you do the same thing over, except when you hit the 3 dots, it'll say unassigned to sleeper berth. The reason they do this, let's say you took a 3-hour break and a 2-hour break, you can tell the computer which one you're going to do. And then it's going to be looking for the 7-hour sleeper berth later, or the 8-hour. Or if you're going to extend your day some, maybe you took 4 hours off, you assign it to sleeper berth, it'll be looking for the 7 or sleeper berth later. That way it'll clear up any violations. I want to go back to the clock for a minute. If you go down to load details, select that. This is where you update your shipping number and your trailer number. You'll just go touch it there, go ahead and type your stuff in and hit save. And you notice there's other options in here like DOT roadside inspection. Inspect logs, transfer logs, so they can go in and look at the logs. And you just back out of there. As with PeopleNet, if you go hit the police officer button, that's the only information the officer is allowed to look at. To get out of there, it requires your password. So he can't go in there and look at your messages and everything else. He can look at your logs and your events, and that's it. So you have to enter your password to get out of there. And that'll take me back to that screen. I think most of the stuff I showed you there will help you understand the system a little bit better, how to do things. If you have any questions, just give us a call. Thank you. Did I wing it good enough? That's the cut at the end of the film.
To ensure optimal performance and safety in the operation of your Holland fifth wheel, take a few minutes to learn the proper coupling procedures. Holland FW35 Series fifth wheel coupling procedure. Before coupling, be sure that the area is level and clear of people and obstacles. Engage the parking brake on the tractor and chock the wheels on the trailer. If the trailer is loaded, be sure that the load is secure. Inspect the fifth wheel, top plate, and mounting bracket assembly closely. Make sure the fifth wheel is securely fastened to the tractor. Inspect welds and fasteners on the fifth wheel assembly. Replace any cracked components. Do not repair cracks by welding. Replace any missing fasteners and tighten all loose fasteners. Proper lubrication of the top plate is essential to maintain optimal steering and safety.
Lubricated fifth wheel models require a coating of lubricant on the top plate with sufficient lubricant in the grease grooves for proper and safe steering. No lubrication is required for the Holland FW31 model, which features Holland's no-lube technology. Simply make sure lube pads are in place and securely fastened. Fifth wheels mounted on sliding brackets must be visually inspected. Inspect both sides of the fifth wheel and slider assembly to be sure plunger lock bars are fully engaged. The slider must be secured and locked in the proper position for safe operation. Make sure that the fifth wheel is in the proper position. Check the articulation of the fifth wheel. The fifth wheel must move freely. Ramps must be tilted down toward the rear and resting on the stops. Before coupling, visually inspect the fifth wheel lock jaws to ensure that the lock is open and ready for coupling. If locks are closed, pull the release handle all the way out. Release the optional manual secondary lock if the fifth wheel is equipped with one. If the fifth wheel is air release equipped, pull and hold the fifth wheel release control valve until locking mechanism opens and locks in place. Check the throat area of the fifth wheel to make sure it is free of debris, snow, or ice. Visually inspect the trailer upper coupler plate. The area supported by the fifth wheel should be free of scrapes and gouges. Inspect the kingpin to make sure it is not damaged. Also, make sure the kingpin is not obstructed by a lock or security device. Periodically check the kingpin for excessive wear using the kingpin gauge available from SAF Holland. See the Holland Kingpin Inspection Procedure video for more information. Make sure the kingpin is properly lubricated and the upper coupler plate is free of rust. A light oil rust inhibitor may be applied. If the tractor is equipped with a no-lube fifth wheel, the kingpin will not require lubrication. Line up the tractor with the trailer using the side view mirrors. Be sure the tractor and trailer are in a straight line. Never back under at an angle. You could push the trailer sideways and damage the landing gear. Back up slowly and stop short of the trailer. Do not back under the trailer. Completely exhaust air from the tractor suspension. Engage the tractor parking brake and place the transmission in neutral. Make sure the fifth wheel is below the contact surface of the trailer's upper coupler plate before backing under the trailer. If the trailer is too low, use the landing gear to raise the height of the trailer. If the trailer is too low, you could damage the tractor, trailer, and fifth wheel. When you have proper height alignment, slowly back up, using the lowest gear possible. Stop when the fifth wheel is under the leading edge of the trailer. Engage tractor parking brake and place transmission in neutral. Exit cab and verify proper fifth wheel to kingpin alignment. One of the most common mistakes with coupling is incorrect kingpin to fifth wheel alignment. Proper alignment is critical. Air up the tractor suspension to ride height. The fifth wheel must make complete contact with the upper coupler plate. Never inflate the tractor suspension when the kingpin is above the throat of the fifth wheel. This will damage both kingpin and fifth wheel. If the fifth wheel does not make contact with the upper coupler plate, use the landing gear to lower the trailer until the fifth wheel makes contact. If the trailer is too high, the kingpin will not properly connect with lockjaw. Using the lowest gear possible, slowly back the tractor into the trailer to engage the kingpin and fifth wheel. You will hear the sound of the lockjaw shutting around the kingpin. Avoid hard contact with the kingpin. Connect air and electrical lines and raise the landing gear legs until the pads just come off the ground. Perform a pull test to ensure the coupling procedure has been done correctly. With trailer parking brakes engaged, place the tractor in low gear and ease out on the clutch. Just enough to feel resistance and make sure the coupling is secure. If the pull test is successful, engage the tractor's parking brakes, place the transmission in neutral, and shut off the engine. Now proceed with the final visual inspection. Visually inspect the fifth wheel top plate for the retraction of the yoke shaft. The nut and washer should be snug against the front skirt of the fifth wheel top plate. Make sure the pull handle is retracted and is in the closed position. Make sure there is no gap between the fifth wheel top plate and the trailer's upper coupler plate. Go under the trailer with a flashlight to inspect fifth wheel lockjaws. Lockjaws should be completely engaged and closed around the kingpin. If the yoke shaft is not completely retracted, if there is a gap present, or if the lockjaws are not completely closed, the coupling was unsuccessful. If any one of these three conditions exist, you must repeat the complete coupling procedure. For uncoupling procedures, refer to the Holland uncoupling video. Warning: operation of a tractor and trailer with an improper coupling or operation of a tractor and trailer with a malfunctioning fifth wheel could result in tractor-trailer separation while in use, which, if not avoided, could result in death or serious injury. When a successful coupling has been achieved, retract the landing gear using high gear. Secure the crank handle. The coupling procedure is now complete.
Welcome to Drivewise Pre-Clear. Drivewise is the nation's largest weigh station bypass service and provides bypasses at fixed weigh stations and mobile inspection sites across the country. When using Drivewise, you should mount your device in the cab, where you will be able to clearly see the Drivewise driving instructions. We also recommend that you connect your device to a power source. This is how Drivewise works at sites participating in the Drivewise bypass service. When you are 2 miles away from a participating weigh station or inspection site, you will receive a visual and audible alert. You will receive a second alert when you are 1 mile away. Sites that are participating in the Drivewise bypass service will be identified by a banner and the words bypass supported on the screen. You will then receive a driving instruction to either bypass or pull in. The bypass screen has a green light, and the pull-in screen has a red light. Your chances of getting a bypass are largely determined by your carrier's safety score. Bypass rates vary from site to site and from state to state, based on screening rules put in place by state law enforcement agencies, working in cooperation with Drivewise. If a weigh station or mobile inspection site is closed, you will receive a bypass driving instruction. This is how Drivewise works at sites not participating in the Drivewise bypass service. At sites not participating in the Drivewise bypass service, you will still receive 2 mile and 1 mile heads-up notifications. These notifications will have a white banner and will include the words non-Drivewise. At these non-Drivewise sites, you will only ever receive a driving instruction to follow road signs. You will not receive bypasses at non-Drivewise sites. In addition to providing bypasses at weigh stations, Drivewise also provides bypasses at temporary or mobile inspection sites. At locations where mobile inspection sites are known to occasionally operate, you will receive a heads-up notification, just in case a mobile site might be operational. Note that some of these occasionally operating mobile sites are located at truck stops, rest stops, or at otherwise unmarked roadside locations. Drivewise is the only bypass service that can give you a bypass at an operational mobile site. This is how Drivewise works at sites with integrated electronic road signs. At some sites, your Drivewise driving instruction will not appear on your device screen, but will instead appear on an electronic road sign. In these cases, you will receive 2 mile and 1 mile notifications, followed by an instruction to follow road signs. If you opt in to participate in the Drivewise Florida Agricultural Bypass Program, you may receive a conditional bypass instruction. This means you can bypass the ag site unless you are hauling agriculture, aquaculture, horticulture, livestock, or a refrigerated unit. If you are ever asked by law enforcement to show your last bypass command, you can do so by tapping the recall icon. The most recent instruction will be shown at the top of the recall screen. Drivewise is the largest bypass service in the country, with more sites and more states than any other service. But it doesn't provide bypasses at all sites in all states, and some states have specific rules regarding bypass restrictions. So it's important to be familiar with Drivewise's coverage area, as well as state-specific bypass restrictions. Please visit drivewise.com for more information. Thank you for using Drivewise.